In this tutorial, we'll get you up and running with Anima, the easy-to-use cross-platform crowd simulation software. First, export some reference geometry from your chosen DCC app. Only export what's necessary to position characters and understand the space of the scene. So in this sample file, which you can download from the Axis website, we'll select just the floors, stairs and escalators. Next, go to Export Selected. Name the file atrium.obj and accept the default settings. Anima also supports 3ds and Lightwave files. With the geometry exported successfully, we'll switch to Anima. Starting Anima displays a welcome screen with options to open samples and previous scenes or start a new project by importing reference geometry exported from your 3D modelling app. To do this, click on Browse and select the OBJ file. Then click Open. From the model import settings, set the system unit size used in the original file, in this case meters, and choose the correct rotation preset from the drop-down list. If a suitable preset isn't included, rotation values can be entered manually using the spinners on the right. To import the geometry, click OK. When the geometry has been imported, we can set up the rest of the scene. On the right-hand side is the project editor. From here you can change the scene settings, organise the project into groups, and add actors and animations. Let's check the scene settings. Click on Scene, then go down to Properties. You can see the base model we've already added, but you can also click on the button on the right if you've yet to add a reference scene, or if you want to change or update the geometry. Next, check the units match your reference file and set the animation's frame rate. And finally, if you need to change the duration of the animation, come down to the animation length property and enter a new value. To navigate the 3D view, you'll find Pan, Zoom and Orbit buttons above the viewport. Alternatively, you may prefer to use the keyboard shortcuts. Alt and left click to orbit, Alt and right click to pan, and Alt and left and right together to zoom. I'm just going to get a little closer to the reference geometry and then we're ready to add some animation. A new scene already contains a group containing a single animation. To create a crowd of walking actors, first click on the animation layer and go to the Properties tab. Since we'll be adding this to the ground floor, I'll remove all geometry above this level to make things easier to see. Turn section level on and enter a value of 6 meters. Now we can easily create a path. Pick the Add Spline Path button and click in the scene to set a start point. Keep clicking to add further points to the path. When you're finished, right-click. To change points, you can move them using Select and Move mode, or edit points using Add Delete mode. With the path complete, it's time to add characters. You can either add actors individually or use the cloner modifier to create and randomise large numbers of characters to make a procedural crowd. To do this, drag a cloner modifier onto the Actors layer. Next, choose some characters from the Actors tab. The selection can be filtered using the drop-down list. We'll include only casually dressed characters in this scene. Drag the chosen actors onto the cloner modifier. The cloner modifier is creating only one instance for each actor. Let's increase that by going to the cloner's properties and increasing the clone number. From here, you can also control a number of other aspects of the cloning operation. By default, for example, the characters are distributed along the full length of the spline, but you can easily change the arrangement value to group them together more closely. You can also use offset to change the width of the spline, and turn off randomise invert if you'd only like the actors travelling in a single direction. This section also lets you toggle on and off and change the seed values for many other randomised properties of the actors. I'll just change these settings back to their defaults. A powerful feature of Anima is the ability to adjust the paths and properties of individual actors as well as groups. Simply click on a character and you can see and manipulate their individual path. Say we want this actor walking over here. Simply select them and change the path. Additionally, if you select a character, you can access their individual properties, such as texture colour, the motion clip that overlays the walk animation and the actor's position in that cycle, the speed, the start position along the path, the offset from the path's centre line, and the direction. If you change a character, it will be locked and display an icon next to its name. This will prevent any adjustments to the cloner modifier overwriting your work. To unlock, simply use the right-click contextual menu. As you can see, with Anima the 3D artist has a very high level of control. Next, we'll add another animation for the first floor. To keep the project well organised, we can add another group and rename it First Floor. Next, select the new animation track and create a path. Then add a cloner and some actors. Increase the clone number to 60 and finally make any manual adjustments. Perhaps we'd like an actor to walk around this corner here. Once this is done and we're ready to import these models into the original scene, simply save the file. I'm going to name this atrium.ani and switch back to 3ds Max or Cinema 4D. Now go to Import and select the file we just saved. Click OK, and the characters and their animations will all be imported into the scene ready to render. In this tutorial we covered the essential workflow for using Anima in production. Stay tuned for future instalments that demonstrate how to easily add sequences of motion clips including stairs and escalators, and how to use a range of techniques for adding groups of static characters.